Okay, so we're going to be starting a playthrough of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. This is a game I have enjoyed many years ago when it first came out, probably 20 or more years ago. So the graphics are a bit dated, but the gameplay is just stunning. It's amazing. The characters, the dialogue, the setting, everything about it just blew me away. I've played this through many times. Um, just not recently at all. Um, just a side note, I guess the whole reason I'm doing this stream is or the recording, just to kind of get comfortable with doing this kind of thing, because I'm going to be making some YouTube videos and such, so I'm going to call this practice with kind of a tutorial of something I am familiar with, and just to kind of get used to making videos like this. So hopefully somebody enjoys it or finds it useful. I guess before we begin, I'll just make a note that I am using a few mods here. Nothing crazy, but just want to go through the list just so everyone's aware. The unofficial patch 11.4, of course, is a necessity. This game was not as polished as it could have been upon release. There were a lot of problems with it, of course, but the studio at the time was kind of a sinking ship, so it never really got a chance to address a lot of those problems. I put out a few patches and that fixed a lot of things, but I think they only got up to 2 or 2.5 or something before the studio tanked, and since then it's all been fan-made support with constant unofficial patches for the last 20 years. This 11.4 I think just got released a week ago, so this game is loved enough that there's a fan base still making patches and content and more new mods for it, so that's pretty great. But the list of mods I'm using, besides the unofficial patch, there's the X20 mod. That comes in two parts. There's textures and scripts. I'm only using the textures because scripts can break things when used with other mods, so I'm just avoiding that. Those are just little graphical improvements to the game. A big one is the character eyes improved. For such an old game, the graphics can be a little blocky, I guess, but this character eyes improved mod really makes it a little more dynamic and interesting, and just kind of helps it not look quite as old as it is. Now it only looks 15 years old instead of 20, I guess. So next mod is the Devolved ENB. I think ENB stands for Enhanced Natural Bloom. It's basically just a lighting mod. Makes things a little softer, I suppose. Again, we're trying to drag this old game towards the present and try and add some more modern lighting and textures and things. There's a Bloodline sound overhaul mod. A lot of the sound effects in the game could have been done a little better, and somebody went ahead and did them better. So they're not enhancements of existing sounds, but I guess they recorded all new ones, and they did a pretty good job with it. So it's kind of become one of those go-to mods that everyone recommends you do incorporate. And the last one is just an uninterrupted background music. Normally when you pause and go to this loading screen, the music stops, and you get different music. You get the loading screen music, but if you're in a club or something, it just becomes jarring because you're switching music, and the uninterrupted background music, just whatever ambient music is playing, will just continue on in the loading screen. So a little bit of sound continuity, nothing special. And with that in mind, let's start a new game. Some of these loading screen tips can be pretty interesting. But, so when you start a new game, you do get this option to you can answer a series of questions, and I guess it's kind of like a personality test, and whatever the way you answer, it'll just recommend a type of vampire for you to play. I like to just go straight to the character sheet and choose it myself because I am more familiar with the game. And here I'll just go through and give a little breakdown here. So every vampire has humanity, and the more humanity you have, the closer you are to being human. And as you engage in monstrous acts or vampire behavior, or you're just a horrible, horrible person, you will start losing points of humanity. The more humanity you lose, the lower this rating is, the more likely you are to frenzy, lose control of the beast within. Because you're a vampire, you have like this inner evil nature. And if you lose control, you'll just rampage and start attacking people. And that, of course, causes problems with, well, first of all, human crime. If you commit a assault, um, people see that, they'll run to the police get involved, and then you're being shot at. So that's, of course, no good. Um, but worse than that is when you're frenzying or displaying any kind of bestial supernatural behavior. That is a breach of the Masquerade. Now, all vampires want to maintain their secrecy. They want to live in the shadows and not let humanity know that vampires exist, and that's what the Masquerade is all about, just protecting that secret. In the upper right, you can see you kind of have like 5 little masks here. As you breach the Masquerade, these masks will start crossing off, and every time you lose a Masquerade point, you will start to draw the attention of hunters. They're just people that are scoping out vampires. They're vampire hunters, and of course, what a vampire hunter wants to do is kill vampires. So it's bad to have those people around. So you want to maintain that Masquerade as much as you can. If you lose all 5 Masquerade points, the game is over. I guess that's when humanity at large understands that there are vampires, and the military rolls in, and it's all badness for the supernatural world. So there are methods in game to regain humanity or Masquerade points here. If you are a particularly humane person, you can just gain a point back. You can also purchase them with experience points. I think it's 1 XP for every dot you want to buy. So if you want to buy the 7th dot, it's 7 XP and something like that. It's pretty expensive. So you don't want to drag it down, because whenever you complete a quest, you might only get 1 or 2 XP. Some of the really big missions, you might get 4 or 5, but that's pretty rare. What you can't do is purchase Masquerade points, so these can only be earned in-game, so you want to try not to lose them if you can. Now we'll just go through. There are different vampire clans. The original World of Darkness pen and paper tabletop system had 13 clans, kind of broken into 2 sects. Well, there's a lot of political sects in it, but what we are mostly focused on are the Camarilla clans, and there are 7 of them. Camarilla just being one political faction that's a little more like a feudal system, whereas the kind of main opposing faction, the Sabbat, we'll see a bunch of those in game. They're much more brutal. They're more animal packs rather than a society. And then, of course, there's also the Anarchs. They just don't want to get involved with anybody, and they just wish everybody would leave them alone. And so they're not really a part of any of that, but anybody could be an Anarch. But generally, those 2 main factions, the Camarilla and the Sabbat, the clans are pretty evenly divided between them. And there's a few independent clans that I guess we'll see, Setites and Giovanni and things like that throughout the game, who don't subscribe to either of them. But as a player character, you can only access the 7 core Camarilla clans without mods. There are other mods that will allow you to do independence or some of the Sabbat clans. There's even a mod that will allow you to join the Sabbat. About halfway through the game, you have an option to just say, screw you to the Camarilla and join a Sabbat pack, and all kinds of horribleness ensues. But it's a very well-made mod, because they recorded all kinds of new voice acting, and there's a whole other area, kind of a Los Angeles ghetto or something like that. It's been a while since I played it, but it was very well done, and that just shows the level of commitment that the community has to maintaining and upgrading and adding to this well-loved game. But let's go through the clans here. So the Bruja, they are more thuggish usually. They do tend to be more combative characters. So they have potence, which is the physical supernatural strength. They also have celerity, which is the supernatural speed. And then they have presence, which is kind of the supernatural ability to make people like you or love you or obey you a little bit. Um, it's more emotion-based control of others. Does have some combat uses because it lowers combat stats for your opponents and things. So a lot of the disciplines in game, they most of them are just combat uses, but there's a few like presence that will have dialogue options. So if you want to just kill everything, rip it apart with your bare hands or teeth or big melee weapons and things, Brujah are for you. Um, Next is Gangrel. I guess similar to Brujah, they can be pretty combative. They just have a little different way of going about it. So they do have Protean. They're the only clan with Protean. It's a unique discipline to them, which is kind of a shape-changing ability. They can get claws or kind of become more wolf-like. And eventually their level 5 is a big beast form that they can just get huge, big wolf thing and just rip things apart. Their other disciplines are Fortitude, which is a supernatural resilience, and Animalism, which allows them, I think, to summon birds and things like that in this game. I haven't really played a Gangrel much, so I'm not sure how those disciplines translate well to the digital version. But yeah, they're an interesting option if you want a little more hand-to-hand combat, because they do have their claws as their primary weapon, so they're pretty good brawlers. Next is the Malkavian. So these are one of the two clans that I would call hard mode. And the reason for that, just like they have additional difficulty that a lot of the other clans don't. So the Malkavian, what makes them a little tougher to play is they are insane. Now, when you're playing any other clan, you have pretty sane dialogue options. You can have reasonable, sensible conversations with people. You absolutely cannot do that with a Malkavian. Every dialogue option is schizophrenic. It's filled with prophecies and visions or just weirdness, and playing a Malkavian for the first time can be a confusing experience. Maybe that's part of the point. If you that's the Malkavians are insane. If you want to experience true insanity, go ahead and play Malkavian first off. It'll be a weird experience for sure. So I do kind of recommend playing a Malkavian second, or as a follow-up character, just because of that extra level of complexity that doesn't have anything to do with the rules. It's just it makes the game weird. But the Malkavian's disciplines are Auspex, which is kind of a heightened senses. They can boost their perception, and that's always good with firearms if you wanted to make a shooter character. They also have Demontation, which allows them to spread their madness to others. A lot of those are very Masquerade breaching abilities, but their third one is Obfuscate, and Obfuscate is the ability to walk around unseen. Very, very useful. And I guess it's kind of an interesting point that the two clans that I would consider to be hard mode in this game, the Malkavian and the Nosferatu, they both have Obfuscate. So it does kind of counter that out a little bit. More difficult in one way, but Obfuscate is super useful. So if you like to just kind of stealth your way past a lot of things, Malkavians may be for you. The next hard mode character, Nosferatu. And if you look on the right, you can see they are hideously ugly monsters, male and female. We'll just take a look at the female Nosferatu. Yeah, she's even worse. She's much uglier than the male, it seems. But the Nosferatu, I mean, that is their curse, is they're ugly, and that's what makes them hard mode, is if they wander out in the street and are seen, that is, their appearance is just a breach of the Masquerade right off the bat. So they have to do a lot of traveling using Obfuscate or crawling through the sewers just to avoid being noticed in that way. So again, really good for if you want to try a follow-up character, but I wouldn't try that for first character just because it's that extra level of complexity with being hideously ugly. After Nosferatu, we have Toreador. These, I think, are a pretty good first character to have, Toreador. They have a nice balance of a lot of different things. So their clan disciplines are Auspex, so they have that perceptive ability. Makes them really good at seeing things that are unseen, and makes them good at firearms. Celerity is, yeah, they also have Celerity, that's that supernatural speed, so a good combination of Auspex and Celerity makes them fast, accurate shooters. So they're really good if you want to go in guns a-blazing. And like the Ventrue, they have Presence, so that can give them some interesting dialogue options. Like I say, a good starter character or clan is Toreador. Tremere are weird. I wouldn't call them quite as hard mode as Malkavian or Nosferatu because they can at least walk around and are sane. But they are a little extra weird. They're kind of blood magicians that became vampires. They're a bit different than a lot of the other vampires, I guess, because they have their own kind of culture and history. That will come up in the course of the game. You do meet some other really interesting Tremere characters, but their disciplines are Dominate. So, again, good in combat and out of combat uses for that. Auspex, so they can have a gun as a backup at times, but their primary scary discipline is called Thaumaturgy, and that's the blood magic they brought with them from their sorcerer days before they became vampires. Now, Thaumaturgy, a lot of those powers associated with that are stealing blood or causing somebody's blood to boil and they explode and all kinds of nastiness there. Like every use of Thaumaturgy is a very obvious breach of the Masquerade. So it's something you want to do only in combat zones when you're fighting other supernaturals. Not something that if you start flashing it out on the street and blowing people up and having torrents of blood floating through the air into your mouth, that tends to be noticed. So, very difficult discipline to use in public. And lastly is the clan that I'm going to be playing today, Ventrue. They are more the kind of aristocrats, say upper echelons of society. Um, they've been a lot of the, like old world blue bloods, kind of in the older generations, and in the younger generations they're looking for like Wall Street people and such like that, so they tend to be more businessmen or politicians, movers and shakers. For the most part there's always exceptions, and I guess I'm going to kind of play one of those exceptions because we'll be choosing a history. Now history, there's a lot of different things you can pick. Most of them, well, we'll jump to the character sheet just so I can show you. So the character sheet laid out here. Every clan has a primary attribute where you get 2 points, and a secondary where you get 1 point, and a tertiary you get nothing to spend. Same with abilities. So you get, for Venture, the primary is knowledge, talents, then skills. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a history that will move things around a bit. So I'm looking for a corporate schmo. so um, So a lot of these things, most of them, if we go back to the sheet, you can see they've just changed the order. Rather than primary knowledges and secondary talents, now we have primary skills, secondary knowledges. So that's most of those histories will change the priority of either the attributes or the abilities. Some of them, usually at the bottom here, things like Megalomaniac, it'll be like you start with an extra point of charisma, but you can never raise your subterfuge above 4. There's a few like that. Some of them, it's well educated, a bonus in a variety of abilities, but you're mild tempered and weak willed. Okay, so you can't ever raise dominate or intimidation above 3. So there's a few that have that. Some of them have a really upfront huge bonus, but then they give you an experience penalty later. Now, I tend not to take those because the experience penalty does not pay off in the long run. The amount of experience you lose from that penalty is so much more that you could have just bought whatever the bonus is later on and still had extra XP to spend on other things. But so I'm just Going to go for the corporate schmo just to swap the priority of abilities to skills, knowledges, and talents. Now, the character sheet, I've already explained humanity and Masquerade points here, but everything you're going to do in-game will be coming from a feat. And this is just determining your ability to do various things in-game. Of course, a bunch of combat abilities, unarmed, melee, and range. There's your guns. Combat defense is kind of a combination of your dodge. Yeah, I guess it's mostly just dodge because your soaking abilities in combat, your ability to suck up damage, is at the bottom here. Bashing is things, of course, like fists or blunt objects like baseball bats. You can soak that with stamina. And lethal is more bladed objects or things that are just a little nastier. You can't soak that with stamina. Instead, you need armor. There's various armors you can get throughout the game. Aggravated damage can only be soaked with fortitude, or maybe there are some other supernatural means, as it says there, but I think there's some kind of relics you can get that maybe add one to certain soak things. But if you have fortitude, which we have, fortitude will add a point to your soak rating for bashing, lethal, and aggravated. So as you raise your stamina and get armor and activate fortitude, you just be able to suck up more damage. This character sheet, now, if you notice when I hover over things, a couple of the attributes and abilities will highlight. And those are the points that contribute to the feat on the right. So as you can see with hacking is a combination of your wits, which is a mental ability, and your computer knowledge. Makes sense? Inspection is just your perception and investigation skills. Sneaking, of course, is probably going to be dexterity and stealth. There we go, in the middle, stealth. Now, I love this character sheet. This is what I loved about the World of Darkness system, is you have these kind of core attributes of your physical, social, and mental stats, and then it's combined with real-world training. Just these physical skills you can learn. So it's a nice combination of kind of natural talent and training or research and things to make up these various feats. And this character sheet, of course, it's very well done in that you can just hover over anything. If I hover over intelligence, I can see on the right that contributes to research and intimidate. Hover over melee, that just melee combat, it only does that one thing, but intimidation, yeah, most of the abilities here only contribute to one thing on the right. There's a couple that'll do two, like scholarship contributes to both research and persuasion. So when you're building your character, you can just take some time and just kind of hover over each thing and see what contributes to what feat. Now I've pre-selected what I want, so I think I was going to go intelligence with my one mental point, because that can give me some research, which allows me to learn skills later on from skill books, and intimidate. We're going to make a very intimidating Ventru character. So under social, I believe I wanted manipulation, which allows me to haggle. Haggle is a good feat. It allows you, of course, to buy goods for less and sell things for more. There's a limited amount of money in the game. There's a lot of different ways to get money. You can kind of talk people out of it, or do missions, or just find things laying around that you can sell. And some other skills may contribute to money. I guess you can use intimidate to bully it out of people, or if you have persuasion and there's a reward, you can maybe use your persuasive skills to up the reward amount, talk them into giving you more money. But my tactic here, I'm just going to go with haggle. So that'll be a lot of finance ability here, so we'll put a couple points there. Finance. So you can see my haggle is 5. Pretty good. So that's going to be my main kind of source of money, is buying and selling. Let's get some better prices there. I'm also going to make this a melee character, which is kind of weird for a Ventru. They don't really have like a lot of potence or celerity, which would be good for melee characters, but he's going to have some fortitude. He's pretty resilient, so with that discipline there. So and some of the other things, if I have presence, that just weakens enemies. So I can just get in there with a club or a bat or something. And I think I do have one more point. Yeah, you can see how many unspent points you have in each category. So I need a talent. I'm just going to drop a dot in intimidation. And that is all my points. You can see I have 2 levels of presence, and then you have just a default 1 in your other disciplines, Fortitude Dominate. And if you look at the side chart under feats, like you have at least a 1 in everything, really, because you have a minimum of 1 stat point in every attribute. So you can't have a 0 in anything except Soak. But so this character is pretty decent at melee combat for a kind of a starting character. Little bit of research bonus there, but the big things are Haggle and Intimidate. Now, whatever path you choose or whatever character you want to create here, you do want to min-max a little bit, because in a lot of the kind of missions, there's different ways to get through things. Sometimes there's multiple ways. Sometimes there is only really one way and you'll mess it up and then you have to get into combat. But you can't really mess things up. You can't make a bad character. The game is very well level scaled for the combat, so if I'm just a little weak on the combat side, if I just have a few points in melee, I don't really have a lot of really big nasty disciplines, that's okay. If I do encounter hard enemies, usually the solution is to change my tactics or upgrade equipment and come back to it later. Rather than the game just being too hard because I misspent my points. That doesn't tend to happen. So if you do get a super buff monster Brujah with lots of potence and celerity, putting a lot of points into strength and stamina and things, you're just going to get tougher enemies. So you can do a lot of damage, but you will just meet harder things. So it does keep that balance there. So you can't really build a character wrong. My only recommendation, like I say to specialize a bit, because I mean, if you put a little bit of points into everything, you're kind of okay at a lot of things, but you're not really good at anything. So I do like to kind of, put a few points into one thing and build them up to level 3 at least. And then you're actually just good at stuff. So like I say, I got some haggle skills and a bit of intimidate, and that's kind of this character's specialty. So with that, I don't think there's anything else to say about the character sheet. We're just going to go straight to gameplay. A pretty good intro showing your creation.
Show you something.
Dirty hotel room. Getting your blood drain turned into a vampire in some sleazy motels, so that's your origin. That's all the characters' origins, though. So. There you go. You're a vampire now. Wake up. Your wounds have healed. And staked. Okay. So unlike the movies, a stake through the heart mostly just paralyzes you.
My fellow kindred, my apologies for disrupting any business or interfering with prior engagements you may have had this evening. It's unfortunate that the affair that gathers us together tonight is a troubling one. We are here because the laws that bind our society, the laws that are the fabric of our existence, have been broken. As Prince, I am within my rights to grant or deny the kindred of this city the privilege of siring. Many of you have come to me seeking permission, and I have endorsed some of these requests. However, the accused that sits before you tonight was not refused permission. Indeed, My permission was never sought at all. They were caught shortly after the embrace of this child. It pains me to announce the sentence, as, up to tonight, I considered the accused a loyal and upstanding member of our organization. But as some of you may know, the penalty for this transgression is death. Know that I am no more adjudicator than I am a servant to the law that governs us all. Let tonight's proceedings serve as a reminder to our community that we must adhere to the code that binds our society, lest we endanger all of our blood. Forgive me. Let the penalty commence. Which leads to the fate of the ill-begotten progeny. Without a sire, most childer are doomed to walk the earth never knowing their place, their responsibility, and most importantly, the laws they must obey. Therefore, I have decided that...
This is bullshit!
All I'm saying is that he better not do it.
If Mr. Rodriguez would let me finish, I have decided to let this kindred live. They shall be instructed in the ways of our kind and be granted the same rights. Let no one say I am unsympathetic to the plights and causes of this community. I thank you all for attending these proceedings, and I hope their significance is not lost. Good evening. Your sire, tragic, my apologies. But you see, there is a strict code of conduct that all of us must adhere to if we wish to survive. When anyone breaks these laws, they undermine the well-worn fabric of our centuries-old society. Understand my predicament. Allowing you to live makes me directly responsible for your subsequent behavior. So, what I'm offering is not generosity, but the opportunity to transcend the fate woven by your sire. This is your trial. You will be brought to Santa Monica. There you will meet an agent by the name of Mercurio. He will provide the details of your labor. I've shown you great clemency. Prove it was more than a wasted gesture, fledgling. Don't come back until you do. Good evening.
Okay, so that is our introduction to the world of darkness, is almost getting executed. The Camarilla do take the creation of new vampires very seriously, and anybody who does it without permission gets executed, usually. Usually the child would be executed, but looks like someone in the audience jumped to your defense, so that's why you get to live. Kind of weird that you're turned out into the streets on your own, but that's just how the game is. That varies, or how it has to be different from the tabletop game. With the audience here, you can see a lot of very interesting, weird people, all kindred, as they say, which is their term for vampires. We are going to be meeting all those characters throughout the game at various points, so that was just kind of a nice little preview there. And with that, let's a little bit of a tutorial there just to show you how to do things. But one thing I notice not in this list is quick save. As I was just kind of playing around with the game, getting everything set up, and I was trying to quick save a bunch of times with F5. Well, that is a feature that post-dates the creation of this game. So if you want to save, it's press escape and go to the menu to specifically select a save game. If you're relying on spamming F5, that will not get you what you need. So gonna get through this and we'll head into the tutorial. As a veteran player, you could skip this part, but it's good to go through as a new player. Just you get a few XP and just kind of shows you the ropes. So we'll go around the corner and meet Smiling Jack.
What a scene, man. Woo-wee. Then they just plop you out here like a naked baby in the woods. How about that? Look, kiddo, it's probably a lot for you to take in, so, why don't you let me show you the ropes? What do you say? I'm Jack. What's important is I'm offering help. You make it back from Santa Monica with your hide and we'll trade life stories, okay? Till then, I got about this much time. You in or out?
And you definitely want to be in for the tutorial. So, number one, okay, I could use the help.
All right. Why don't we, step out back here?
And I think if you click, yeah, that's how you can get the subtitles there. Left click on the mouse button in dialogue will add or remove the subtitles. But yeah, let's get away from this horrible place and go have a tutorial.
Christ, it's stuffy in there, huh? This is much better. Now, we ain't got much time, but I figure somebody should fill you in on the bare bones stuff at least, you know. Could save your hide. You look wobbly. You even had a drink yet?
Yeah, drink of what?
Oh, man, we're popping a cherry here. Ah, you're gonna love this. All right, check it out. Blood, it's your new rack of lamb, your new champagne, blood, your new fucking heroin, kid. Get ready, though, because, hey, it's never as sweet as the first time. Well, down around the corner there, I saw this human. Poor SOB can't find his car. Alright. You go down there, casual like. You creep up on him, then bare those little fangs and feed. Don't worry if you weren't captain of the wrestling team or something, because it'll come so naturally you think you've done it 1,000 times already. Now go for it. Be sure, though, and this is important, so listen up. Be sure not to drain them dry, okay? It might be hard to resist, but don't kill them.
Alright, so yeah, blood is the fuel for your vampiric powers. You'll definitely need, as a vampire, you need blood points to either heal yourself or activate your supernatural abilities. And as a Ventru, well, we're not getting it from rats or other animals, so we must exclusively find humans. So left click, and let's go for the walk. Somewhere around here is a human. Yeah, there he is. Okay, so he's not expecting it. Oh yeah, good little, yeah, feed your blood pool, of course. Have to do this stealthily, so hit left click. Ah, okay, there we go. More tutorial. So that top bar, of course, is how much blood they have in their system, and we don't want that to go to 0. If we do, they die. That is a criminal charge. Police will be looking for you, and if anybody sees you feeding, of course, that is a breach of the Masquerade. So the tutorial should be nice and easy because there's nobody else here, so you don't have to worry about witnesses. Just kind of go up around behind him, hit the F. There we go. Munch, munch, munch. So this health or blood meter is draining rather slow, so we can time that pretty well. I like to leave, half an inch or so, or until you fill up. But if you're feeding from less healthy people, that blood meter can drain a lot faster, so you do have to be careful. As you can see, he's kind of dazed here. He's in a bit of a trance. This is, lore-wise, it's just a result of what they call the kiss. When you're being fed on by a vampire, it's a very pleasurable experience, and it kind of fogs the mind, and they don't really realize what had happened. They just leave feeling really good, but a little lightheaded because they've lost a lot of blood. So we can wander away and not worry about him being a problem, and nobody saw it because it's the tutorial. And we'll go back and have a chat with Jack.
Ah, yeah. Hell yeah, you're feeling it. I can see it in your eyes. You're a born-again predator. Feeling that blood bubbling inside you, lifting you up. That's it, kid. That's what it's all about right there.
The cape, yeah. Let's...
Alright now, you got the blood, you're feeling all kick-ass, feeling better than your best day living, but wait, it gets better. All kindred, that's our word for vampire. All kindred have a few things in common. Things that set them right square above humans on the food chain. Like sharper senses, a body that can take a beating, and if you play your cards right, eternal life. That's no sure bet, but still a chance at immortality's not a bad deal. And that's just for starters. Fringe benefits for joining the club. Well, you can still be destroyed, but forget the books and the movies. Garlic, it's worthless. A cross? Pfft, shove it right up their ass. A stake? Only if it catches you in the heart, and then it just paralyzes you. Running water? That's no problem. I bathe. Occasionally. Now, a shotgun blast to the head. Oh, that's trouble, boy. Fire? That's real trouble. Sunlight? Well, you catch a sunrise and it's all over, kiddo. Get it? Okay, now. The fuck is this? Look, you get inside here and head upstairs. Meet up a bit. Let's see what the ruckus is.
Okay. So, sounds like something crazy going on. And are we going inside here? Yeah. Okay. The use icon. Oh yeah, okay. It's just telling you how to open doors. Press E to open doors. So, oops. Okay. And actually, since we're in a combat zone here, I'm just going to hit the Z key and get into third person. It's just a little easier, I think, especially in combat situations. I think in combat it goes to third person anyway, but just might as well just play the whole game in third person. Oh yeah, space to jump, so we're just gonna climb some boxes. Yeah, as you can see, the jumping is a little... Yeah. It's definitely a 20-year-old game, but... There we go. Okay. Ah, good. Lockpick. I guess this is the big bonus for doing the tutorial, is you do get a free lockpick. Saves you 80 or 90 bucks at the pawn shop. That tells you about inspection, because you have a certain number of points in inspection. The lockpick gets a little glowy. Yeah. Pick it up, so... if your inspection feat isn't high enough, then you don't get those blue sparkles, but you can still pick up the objects. If you just happen to see them without the sparkle. The sparkles just make it easier to see, and that's what your eye perception will do, is make it more sparkly. So, pick the lockpick, and that'll come in very useful later. So, oh, there's Jack again.
Down here. Stay away from the windows. Oh, it's a Sabbat raid. Sabbat? They're, Christ, I was hoping to spare you this shit till later. The Sabbat. Well, they're mostly mindless, bloodthirsty assholes. That's all you need to know for now, alright? The Sabbat got wind of the gathering here, so they figured they'd raise a little hell and put a little heat on the new prince. No time for political rundown. Job one, get out of here alive. Sabbat might be mindless, but they hit like a Mack truck, like raging savages. Nothing a fledgling like you wants to mess with.
Guess we'll turn on the subtitles.
Shh, shh. Heads up.
Oh, dialogue's over. So. You'll see some animalism at play. And yeah, I don't know what that was, but that's a high power you will never have.
Frenzied Sabat bastards. Alright, we gotta vamoose out the back quick. I'll stay and keep a watch out. You get us into the office. The door's around the corner here.
Yep, I'm on it. Oh yeah, press L to access your quest log. Alright, well, let's take a look at that quest log. So, Fish's vampire faction known as the Sabat, I hate their pronunciation. It's not Sabat, it's Sabat. Has launched an attack on the secret Camarilla gathering downtown. You and Jack are caught in the middle. So, yeah. Obtain entry into the office to escape. Yeah, fair enough. So, we'll just wander around here. And windows. Guess that's the office I want to get into. Go to the other side. That is not a door. Ah, here we go. Lockpicking tutorial. Okay, so take a look at the character sheet. What is my lockpicking? 1! Okay, so very bad at this, but it's the tutorial, so I think the difficulty of this lock will be 1. Of course, if you're seen lockpicking, that is, of course, a criminal act, so people will report it to the police, and the police will want to arrest you or murder you, either way.
Shortcut. Well, nicely done, though. Not exactly an angel in life, were you? Cool. Now, if you want a lesson on how really not to act, take notes from those Sabat assholes. You're a big bad vampire. Yeah, great, congrats. Now keep it to yourself. You go roar and you beat your chest, and that's what you can expect.
Oh yeah, there you go. So you can scroll through the dialogue with the wheel. Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Go kill that list of people from high school now.
It's the same reason you don't let humans see you feeding. It's why the wolf doesn't want the sheep to know he's there. It's also why you don't go juggling dumpsters or outrun the 815 from Sacramento, and it's why you didn't know any of this when you woke up this morning. Keep our secret, and you make things easier on all of us. We're living in the age of cell phone cameras. Fuck-ups ain't tolerated. Makes sense enough, right? Well, it ain't a casual thing for a fledgling like you.
What could happen?
That party back there with the guy in the suit and the Magilla Gorilla? The assholes that put your sire to death? That's the Camarilla. Oof. They make a tidy business out of enforcing vampire laws like this one.
Yeah, Camarilla are not the good guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think some other time, maybe. I like to let people form their own opinions. Alright, now don't worry, because I know the area a little, and you know what? I'm glad we're in this situation, you and I. It illustrates a point. You gotta utilize your surroundings. You do what you gotta do. Theft, destruction of property, breaking and entering. These will be the least of your sins before the night's out. So look around here. We gotta get out the back there through that magnetically sealed door. There must be a key someplace.
Okay, yeah, just explanation of the different areas that you can be in. We are, of course, in a combat area, as indicated by the gun. Masquerade areas are just out in public. People walking around just don't want to show off anything there. If you're in a combat area, it doesn't matter. You can break out any discipline, and it's never going to be a breach of the Masquerade because that's just the way the game works, I guess. So, and the Elysium, there's a few places, usually nightclubs and things, where you just can't use your powers at all. So, yeah, tutorial talking about the Masquerade things. I've pretty much given a rundown of that. So, if we look around here, nothing really that way, but we have a computer and I think a locked safe. Yeah, I don't know, can't really pick that, but let's take a look at the wall here. There's a note. Yeah, it's telling you how to read a note, so it's maybe a little too in-depth, the tutorial, but there you go, chop shop. So, oh yeah, there you go. When you use a computer, you can use the use icon. Yeah, everything's use icon. It's always E, so I'm just using that same key, and it keeps telling you. So yeah, hit E. Hacking is a combination of wits and computer. Yep. Okay, so in there. If I wanted to hack the computer, I think it was Control C or. Well, we'll just go safe. Oh yeah, it's when there's a password. Yes, there's a password now. It's Control C. If my hacking skill is enough, it's not. So I failed to hack it, but we have a piece of paper because somebody doesn't understand their password security, and they wrote down Chop Shop. So you can just type it in because we know what the password is. Bing, password accepted. Bill commands, unlock. Safe doors unlocked. Okay, so just escape to exit. And yeah, there we go. Now this is a container. Again, press E. So everything's E. There we go. So we have inside on the right, you can just see what's already in there. This would be a list of items if there was multiple things, and on the left is your inventory. So I can actually put things in here if I wanted to, but not gonna. I'm just gonna take that key card.
There we go. Now take that key card and head out the back. I'll meet you out in the alley there. I'm gonna check out things from topside.
Got it. Yep. Oh, okay. Here, they're giving us a different key. We can press I for inventory. Great. I guess we'll take a look. But yeah, so you can see keyring. Inventory in this game is not like a big dump of all your items in one spot. It's actually categorized. So we have just various tools and things. Money. I have no money. My wallet is empty. So, and that lockpick we picked up. I have no weapons, just my fists. These are the ranged weapons, I guess. Yeah, it was melee and ranged. Don't have any of those. Armor, just wearing basic clothing. It's a t-shirt and jeans, so offers no protection. And then we're back to the main thing. Okay, so where are we using this key card? I guess it's right there. Okay. And down the stairs and out the door. Ah. Perfect, yeah. I've been wounded. I guess I got shot. Yeah, so the health, it'll just regenerate over time, but I can also spend blood if I want to. Oh yes, aggravated damage is much harder to heal. And it requires more blood. Aggravated damage, of course, fire, sunlight. We don't see the sunlight in this game, but it's permanent night all the time, so that's not a concern. But yeah, you do encounter hunters with torches or flaming crossbows or various magical effects. The claws of certain supernatural creatures will do aggravated damage, so that yellow health bar is very concerning when you start seeing yourself taking aggravated damage. So, but that's what Fortitude is for. So, yeah, might as well use our abilities right now. If you look at the bottom right, there's Blood Heal, so we'll just right-click. And that should do an accelerated healing process. There it goes. You can see the health bar filled a bit. Yeah, duration 8%, so it didn't really tick up a lot, so we'll do it again. And there it goes. Yeah, it just stops a bit. So, I guess each activation is like kind of a 15% of your health bar or something like that. But we do have a few other disciplines. I can just scroll the wheel and we can cycle and see blood buff. I think this adds 2 to every physical stat. So if we go back to the character sheet, you'll get 2 extra points of strength, dexterity, and stamina, and you can see what those affect. So, of course, with strength, your unarmed and melee combat will get better. Dexterity, once you blood buff, you're actually much better at lockpicking. So if you fail a check, maybe you could just use your blood buff and be able to lockpick it anyway. And of course, stamina just allows you to soak up a bit more bashing damage. So that is blood buff. That's something all clans have. So everybody's got blood heal and blood buff. And then, of course, the ones that are unique to the Ventrue, I have level 1 Dominate as Trance. Some of the disciplines are broken out individually by each level is a different power. So trance, I can put somebody in a trance and they're kind of distracted for 10, 15, 20 seconds. Fortitude and presence, they aren't individual levels. It's just as you level up your fortitude, there is only one activation. It just gets better with as you spend the experience points on it. So if I activate fortitude, I'll be able to add 1 to all my soak things, the bashing, lethal, aggravated, soak. And if I have 2 levels, I can add 2 points, and if I have 3 levels of fortitude, I add 3 points, etc. So same with presence. This has a negative effect on your opponents. I think it damages their perception and their wits or something, so it makes them harder to shoot you. Might have something to do with their melee as well, but just the more presence you have, the stronger that effect becomes. So it'll still always be just that one thing. But as I buy more dominate powers, you can actually have 3 or 4 or 5 things in this list. So for now, we'll just leave it on heal, and let's go have a chat with Jack. It's down there. Nothing yet. Have a chat with Jack.
Fucking waste of unlife, these Sabat Vatos. You get winged? Hey, look at them potholes. Those will close up soon enough. Better feed, though. There's someone down the stairs here. It's not the freshest catch, but he'll do. Now, when it comes to feeding, it's quality blood you're looking for, not the quantity. Bums and lowlife don't pack the same punch that a healthy, well-bred human will. Juice bags with a pedigree. That's the good stuff. But you gotta take what you can get. You ever had a PhD, kid? Ooh, that's good stuff. Remember what I said, though. Don't kill them. At least not the innocent ones. You're a monster now. Make no mistake. One of the damned and the fallen. You need to hold on to every last shred of humanity you have.
Yeah, he's right about that.
An innocent's an innocent. You kill one, even a worthless bum, even by accident, and it's gonna cost you a piece of your own humanity. Bring you closer to that beast you got welling up inside you.
There we go. Yeah, I've already pretty much explained that.
Beast, it's always there, waiting to take over. When it does, it's like a wild animal wearing your skin. Desperate, scared, reckless. He'll do anything to survive, and it's you that has to deal with the consequences.
Of course, Jack did say it better than I did, so that's a pretty intense description of the beast, so yeah. Yeah, seems a little restricting that I just can't kill it. Why do they write that? Yeah.
I said innocent humans. If some asshole levels a 12 gauge your way, you drain him, skin him, and bash in his skull. Self-preservation is a vital part of humanity, after all. My favorite part, in fact. The only way to fight the beast is to keep in touch with your humanity, and don't go hungry. It's a fine line. All right, now go feed. Careful, though. He's gonna drain fast.
Okay, so yeah, this is what I was saying earlier about feeding from bums. I guess he's down these stairs. There's still gunfire in the background and things going crazy. Yeah, avoid draining your victims. Okay. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's our clan flaws. Eventually, more refined tastes, of course. So yeah, there are bums and prostitutes in the game, and you can actually pay a prostitute and bring her to a dark corner and feed off her, but as a venture, that can become problematic. So we'll see. It seems to be randomized, so sometimes you can get away with feeding off homeless or a prostitute, and other times you can't. So we'll roll those dice here and just see what happens. Like I say, he will drain fast, so got to be very careful not to overdo it. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot. It's not that bad. It's the tutorial, but I think there's others that you meet. There we go. Yep, vomit that up, so. That's the venture flaw. So yeah, can't eat him. Yeah, there are others that you meet that will drain a lot faster, so yeah, it just vomited up all the blood points I would have gotten from that, so Gotta go find another source.
Not quite as good, huh? You can do worse. There's some rats down the way. You think I'm kidding? You can survive feeding on animals if you can stomach that kind of thing.
And as a venture, I can't stomach that kind of thing. Yeah, here we go. I won't feed on a rat.
Just couldn't bear it, huh? It's okay. Polite kindred society looks down on that kind of thing anyway.
Yeah, I'm not down with rodent.
Keep it down. Got someone around the way here. Not too much of a threat by himself, but you never know if there's more in shouting range. You're gonna have to sneak past.
Okay.
The building across from us with the garage door, there's some double doors on the far side. I'll meet you inside. Just stay low and stick to the shadows. And don't let him see you.
Okay, so we got the stealth tutorial.
Alright, go.
Okay. Yeah, you know, like most games, just crouch to sneak. And I've only got 1 point in dexterity, and I don't think I have anything in stealth, so I'm not a very sneaky person. We'll see how this goes. Then, yeah, you have a stealth meter, so, yeah. Okay, so, let's see if I can get away with this. So, we are going to crouch, and pop that open. So he's way down there behind the car. It does look like he's looking at me, but it's very brightly lit. But it's the tutorial, so... So I think I can just kind of... Yep, that number's climbing, and... Whoa. Alright. Oh, been detected. Okay, so I felt that. Thing is, I didn't expect him to come around the back, so... In the normal game, that would have just led to a combat encounter. And here, I guess it does not, so... Okay, I guess that was enough. There's Jack.
Quiet, they're inside here. Seems that shovelhead outside just got separated from his pack. He's wounded too. Go take care of him. Don't worry, he's probably greener than you. The Sabbat, you see, they don't have the most rigorous training program. In fact, that poor sod is lucky if he knows he's a vampire. He's probably just turned and beaten over the head. They like to do that, make shock troops, cannon fodder, put him out of his misery. He is a vampire, so be ready. Go get him.
Okay, so, I don't know why we snuck past him if we're just going to kill him, but that's the tutorial, so... I don't have any weapons equipped, so we're going to go in with fists and fangs. Luckily, I guess we do have some pretty good melee combat. Oh, no, actually, we have melee combat. Unarmed is different than melee, so I'm really good if I had a weapon, but not that great in unarmed. We'll see how this goes. But again, it's the tutorial, so it shouldn't be that hard. There we go. Left click, punch, punch. Oh, he's up. Ow! Okay, that's pretty easy. I forgot to even activate any disciplines. Looked like I needed it, so I'll pick up the tire iron. There we go. Yeah, picked up tire iron. Let's go to the melee section and equip that. Use. Perfect. That is better than fists, and I have a lot more training for it, so...
That's that. Sounds like you got another pack moving in, though. The Sabat are going all out. You better head underground, avoid stray bullets. Alright, head down into the basement through the grate in there. Keep that tire iron handy. I'll be there in a minute.
Okay. Ah, that great. Okay, well, we'll crouch. I don't know how much stealth we'll need here, but... Oh. Ah, here we go. So yeah, there's your tutorial of all the different things you can do in combat: persuasion, seduction, intimidation, and yeah, if anything requires a discipline, it has to be activated by blood points.
Stop! You! Just stay back. Keep your distance. Now who the hell are you? You involved in all this? Because I'm gonna radio this in and SWAT will be all over this place.
Yeah, well, let's go intimidation, because that's what I'm best at here.
Look, I'm making $8.50 an hour watching car parts collect dust. I'm not about to take a bullet for this job. Yeah, okay. Alright, this way. This will lead us up to the warehouse. We can maybe sneak out that way.
Yeah, the voice acting for this character is not great. I'm not sure if he was a fan-made addition here. This might have been a voiceless character originally. I don't need to eat him, so... I have a lot of blood, so... We'll just go in here and get sneaky. Yeah. Oh. Oh yes, the stealth kill icon. Okay. So there's a tutorial to sneak up, and... Ah. I don't know why my weapon became unequipped. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Boom. There we go. Turn to dust.
Not sure what's going on. Sounds like the Sabat's getting scattered. I'm gonna keep an ear to the ground. Be careful going forward here. Could be a whole mess of them holed up.
Okay. Oh yeah, disciplines. Yeah, we know. And yep, failed lockpicking, so this is the time for blood buff. Perfect. Yeah, there's venture disciplines. And fortitude. Trigger that. Except I think I can stealth kill. Nope, I guess not. Ow. Okay. Okay, that is locked.
I think they're clearing out. There's no need to go stirring up the hornet's nest till we know the score, though. Head through here. Come to an elevator around the way. Meet you there. Don't let them catch you.
Call the president here. Alright, well, I guess this is stealthy time. Presence to frighten him, okay. yeah, now we can use dominate. So we're gonna put this one in a trance, hopefully. And there's a marker over his head, so... Can I stealth kill him? I can. Oop. Ah. Okay, I think the problem is I touched him. Good deal. Okay, so yeah, that's the tutorial for throwing things. Yep. There we go. Good distraction and stealth kill. Boom. Ah, Jack.
Fucking humans. Gangbangers protecting their turf. Oh, man. I'm here thinking it's Sabat moving up in here. It's the fucking locals about to take one for the hood. They probably seen too much. Here, take this 38. Fucking pea shooter, but a few shots in it will take down a human. Well, I'm gonna want it back, so don't go die and lose it. I don't use guns much. They're noisy, they're clumsy, practically useless against vampires, but still, a kindred's gotta keep up with the times. And in modern-day Los Angeles, that means coming strapped. Well, yeah, some are more lethal than others, of course. Watch out for those shotguns. Ouch, those things can smart, I tell you. Head up and clear out what's left of them. Can't have them running their mouths about any of this. I'm gonna make sure there's no stragglers around outside.
There we go. We have a gun. Not going to use guns much this playthrough, but for the tutorial, guess we have to. Yep. Yeah. Now if we look somewhere here, range combat requirement. Yes, all weapons have a requirement. This should have 4 points to use it effectively. Better guns or better melee weapons will have a higher requirement. And because I really don't have any points in firearms or perception, I have a -3 penalty, so I'm not very good at guns. So that affects things like the accuracy and the base damage, that kind of thing. So, oh yeah, shoot the bottles. Yeah, there you go. And R to reload, like most games. Here's some rats I can't eat. And... oh. I have to shoot these bottles. I think that was their tutorial here. Should have been paying attention. Yeah, see, because I'm not good at it, I keep missing. This is where the accuracy happens. I've only got 4 shots left. Or 4 spare ammo. Oh, man. Yeah, see, I'm really bad at this. Yeah. Reload. We talking to Jack?
Go on up. I'll meet you.
Alright. Not there. Oh, the elevator. Okay, so we didn't have to shoot those bottles. Just wasted a bunch of ammo for no reason. Bing. Okay. Ow. Yeah. I don't even want to use that. I'm terrible at it. Boom, boom. This guy's shooting. But you do pick up ammunition or weapons just by walking. Well, you pick up ammunition automatically, but pick up the melee weapons. And yeah, that is it for here, I think. Oh, maybe I have to talk to Jack. Alright, let's have a chat with Jack.
That's it, kiddo. Just like that, and it's all over. Everyone slinks back to their corners of the city for the night.
Yeah, 2 XP.
Until the next night, when the Camarilla finds some way to strike back. Parry, dodge, spin, and all that, and so on, and so on, and so on. Well, to be honest, you came at an interesting time, let's say. The Camarilla, the Sabbat. Now, in L.A., these are the new kids on the block. There's already plenty of Kindred had stakes down in California long before them. Now, we got every ancient Kindred rivalry playing out all over the city. A lot of tension out there. A lot of fear. A lot of jittery, high-strung predators clinging to their little pieces of eternity. Oh, boy. I think they're looking for you outside. Guess you got a cab to catch. Was hoping to fill you in on a little bit more, but hell, you'll figure it all out.
Yeah, okay, so I guess I have a manipulation option of some persuasion. There we go. Oh, I can talk him out of the gun.
If you make it back, stop in at the last round. It's this bar downtown here. I'll fill you in on the power. I'd be pissed if
Whoops.
this wasn't so cute. Look at you trying so hard. It's absolutely precious.
Okay, well, that was an entertaining misclick at least. Did not mean to take a swing at Jack. That cut off his speech there, but yeah, he let me know that was a really pathetic attempt. So sometimes you get the funny things like that. So I guess yeah, that was the tutorial. And 2 XP is really not a lot in this game, but the big thing is just learning how to do stuff and getting hold of that free lockpick that, like I say, saves you $90. So this should now take us to the next section. Start the main game proper.